Hey there, my name's Jesse, and you're listening to the Deep Lore Boys podcast.
Multiple teeth lodged in the interior.
Flying off the Tarzan swing naked and just bomb them.
The park also sold beer.
Guys, I really want to talk about Action Park, actually.
Action Park is crazy, dude.
I've got an itch that can only be scratched by safety hazards and fatalities.
Dear God, dude.
Isn't Action Park, really dangerous?
Yeah, this place had some major problems going on with what I'm aware of.
It was actually nicknamed Class Action Park.
No.
It was.
Hold on, I'm seeing
Wow.
opened May 26, 1978, and then it closed 1996, but then it opened again in 2014.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right. And then it closed in 2016, 2 years after that.
What all actually happened there?
So my understanding is that this guy had a ski resort, and he was like, well, we don't get a lot of business in the summer. It'd be nice if we had a water park. He built the water park and a couple of alpine slides. And then he just kind of kept adding more and more things to it, and it became this amusement park. And I guess his vision for it was he wanted to create a place where kids could go and not be bogged down by a bunch of dumb rules and regulations, like no running at the pool. He wanted none of that crap.
Yeah, run at the pool. Run more at the pool. Only
dive in the
at
shallow
pool.
end.
Yeah, you know what? Do it. Why not? Did he not realize that these rules exist to keep people alive? This?
It exists to keep you down, Matthew. It's.
I think they exist to keep you up.
Are you really living if you're never close to dying? I mean,
dude, apparently, yeah, the emergency room at the closest hospital said they usually treated 5 to 10 victims of Action Park a day.
Wait, a day?
A day. Apparently, at some point, Action Park had to buy extra ambulances just for the local hospital.
No, are you kidding?
And I guess, if I'm going to be real, I would much rather die, doing some crazy water slide maneuver at Action Park than, I don't know, passing out in my desk chair or something. I can get that. But that being said, I mean, holy, I don't think these people deserve this at all. This was
Die well.
Yeah, holy, man.
Yeah, the waterworld was a huge part of it, and it was bad. The Cannonball Loop is one of the most infamous rides in Waterworld. If you go to the Waterworld section on the wiki, you can see a picture of it. This thing looks nuts. It's just this giant blue chute, and then at the very end, it does a massive full loop-de-loop, so the G's are just insane, and then it blasts you out into the pool.
A former Navy physician found that riders were experiencing as much as 9 G's of acceleration going through the loop. So,
what?
Yeah,
that
dude.
is...
Well, because you pick up so much speed.
That is more than enough.
You pick up so much speed by the end, and then it blasts you into this very small loop-de-loops. You're going upside down and then just getting rocketed out into the pool.
That's crazy.
Completely discombobulated.
I'm reading right now. The park also sold beer in many kiosks on the ground with a relaxed enforcement of the drinking age.
Bro, what?
Oh, yeah.
What? So everybody's drunk. Everybody's experiencing 9 Gs.
The Cannonball Loop, by the way, was so infamous at the park that employees would offer people $100 to test it. A guy named Fergus, who described himself as one of the idiots, took the offer, and he said $100 did not buy enough booze to drown out that memory. So it was not. It was not worth $100.
So this is just an awful experience I'm hearing.
There's no way. The Cannonball Loop, just looking at it, would hurt so bad.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot possibly come out safe from that.
Safety was never the point, Matthew. It's an experience. It's a memory.
Well, hold on. This is really, really gross. Apparently, when they went to close it, they inspected it and found that there were multiple teeth lodged in the interior of the ride, and they didn't know who they belonged to.
No.
So,
and people were getting cut on them.
Yeah, that is foul.
That is
Beyond foul.
that's
Like,
nasty. That's almost barf bag history
So
level.
how were the
wow.
teeth even
Nasty.
coming out in the
Dude, look at it. Take one look at that thing
I
and
guess,
ask
yeah.
yourself, how are your teeth not going to get knocked out on that ride?
People were getting like crushed when they hit that loop-de-loop and it was
Yeah.
just ripping teeth out.
You know, like I'm all for like the idea of a water slide that loops almost sounds fun, but at the same time, there's a reason they don't do that.
It's not proven, I guess. There's no real proof. But apparently, before they actually opened it, they sent several test dummies down, and several of them had been dismembered or decapitated, and they were just kind of like, eh,
Yep, good
and
to
just
go. Green light.
just let it go anyway.
Let's do it. It reminds me of the execution roller coaster that we talked about in like
Oh
episode
God, no, I
0.
do see it. I found it, dude. It totally does look like that. The what's it called? The euthanasia coaster.
Euthanasia coaster. Yeah.
Basically, it was created by, I wish I could pronounce this guy's name, but I don't know Lithuanian. Yeah, it's basically just it's not real, obviously, but it's a roller coaster designed solely for killing people. That's really it. It's just a gigantic like trip up the coaster, and then you drop super far down. I think, what is it, 1,600 feet down, and then you follow 7 loops right after that.
And the loops keep getting smaller as you go.
Yeah, they keep
so the
getting
more you
smaller and
loop, the
smaller.
more you actually accelerate.
Basically, the idea is that you're going to experience so many G-forces all at once that you're going to die by the time you reach the end of it. But no, thankfully they didn't have this at Action Park, but they had something pretty close. I mean, 6 more loops would have done it.
Other notable water attractions. The tidal wave pool is here.
And
it was
that really-
nicknamed the Grave Pool.
Oh, apparently in most tidal wave pools they use salt water so that you're more buoyant.
Yeah.
But apparently they did
Did
not
they
do
not?
that here. No, they just used regular fresh water.
Oh.
Well, one of the deaths was actually because they were using water from a spring nearby for one of their attractions, and it wasn't this. It was 20 degrees colder than the other water like around it. One of the people there had a heart attack and died going into like the colder water.
It's the things you don't think about, because in the wave pool, what I'm reading is it was not super obvious that the deep end was really deep. So people would swim out there and then the waves would be like 3 feet over their head and they'd quickly be like, oh my gosh, I can't get out. I'm exhausted. I'm not buoyant because there's no salt water and I'm dying and I can't get out. And that's how people, well, it's why lifeguards would have to rescue people, sometimes 30 in one weekend.
There were also a lot of issues on the Tarzan swing, apparently, that people kept going on it naked. They would just like strip nude and then do it.
Yep. The Tarzan. And I don't think that the employees really like made people wait. So sometimes you'd have one guy go and then somebody else would come flying off the Tarzan swing naked and just bomb them and hit them. And then they're both in freezing cold water and lifeguards would have to save them.
It seems like this place was just kind of dedicated to killing people.
Chaos.
Like,
there's, I don't know if this is true, but in part of the water park, there's a rumor that they painted the bottom of the pool black so it would be more obvious when there were people on the bottom. Like if somebody drowned and
I
sunk.
did read that they had to repaint part of the bottom of a pool.
Yeah, they painted the bottom white to make it easier to find people.
Oh, white to make it
white,
easier?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was black, and then they painted it white so they could find them.
Yeah. Okay, my mistake.
I'm seeing in 82, it looks like 2 guests died in the same week, and apparently that was enough for the ride they died on to close.
There are, I think there are 6 fatalities total in Action Park and a lot more injuries.
This one in 1982 is like the most avoidable one. Not from the guy who suffered it, but like for the park and just like safety regulations. He got stuck in a kayak and there were underwater fans for the ride. He was like somehow the wiring got exposed and he suffered severe electrical shock.
It looks like there was a metal grate underneath of this kayaking thing, and the grate was in contact with live wire and was then charged with electricity. And when he touched it, he got which is like so, firstly, avoidable, and secondly, like, how are you as a kayaker supposed to in any way predict that? Your thought when you look at a metal grate is not, man, I hope I don't get electrocuted from touching this. Like That is,
Yeah, I'm not thinking like, oh, exposed electrical wiring in the bottom of this
dude.
river.
Yeah, no, that's ridiculous.
So stuff like that. Not only was the park just not safe inherently, but it was not built well. Oh, I think the two people that died within a week of each other, he was one of them, this kayak
Yeah,
guy.
he was one of
Right
them. The other
before
was
him, George Lopez, 15-year-old boy,
yeah.
drowned in the tidal wave pool. That's another thing. I've heard that the tidal wave pool was like nicknamed the grave pool because it was
Well,
so
yeah, that's what I'm
dangerous. And
seeing. I mean,
the staff, if there was a new lifeguard on staff, they would make the newbie start out there in the grave pool because they would be saving like 3 or 4 people an hour.
just from what I'm seeing, yeah, in '87, so 5 years later, somebody else, he was only 18, drowned in the wave pool. So like,
They're saying in the employees section that most were underage and often under the influence of alcohol.
wow,
I mean,
yeah,
they just
give 'em
matched the
alcohol,
rest
right?
of the guests at Action
Yeah,
Park then,
yeah, they're
you know?
just okay. I gotta read them. I don't know if you guys have seen the Bailey Ball at all. This was an attraction that they developed and tested, but was never actually made available to the public. Basically, you get this giant metal ball that you're gonna roll down on a track made of PVC pipe.
Wait, like, what
Uh,
do you mean you're gonna roll down the ball?
You're
Like,
going to be placed inside the ball and
oh,
roll.
like a
This
hamster
is
ball.
yes. This is like a super monkey ball type thing. Apparently they made this ride, and a state inspector came in to watch them testing it, and they put a man inside of the big metal ball, put him down the track, and apparently they didn't take into account the fact that PVC pipe expands in the heat. And so the pipe expanded because it was a hot summer day, and the ball flew off the PVC track, apparently rolled all the way down the ski slope, across a parking lot, across the thruway, and then landed in a
No.
swamp.
No.
Apparently the man inside was fine, but the inspector apparently left without saying a word, and he just simply walked away. And regardless, yeah, the Bailey Ball was never actually made into a public attraction.
Could you see through the ball? Like, did the guy inside know he was going onto the
I have
thruway?
no idea. I'm wondering this now. Like,
Oh, hold on. I just found a picture of the Bailey ball.
yeah, no, I just found it too. It looks like
It looks like a red blood cell, dude.
yeah, that's
It's
what it looks like, some sort of
terrifying.
like torture device. Like, I'm
It's
just looking
horrible.
at it. That is crazy.
Who got in that willingly?
That dude, that's the type of thing that you would see in like Iron Lung or something. It looks like you're supposed to go like deep sea diving in that thing. Like
Looks like what
that.
Alexander the Great went underwater with when
Yeah.
he said the world is damned and lost.
Actually, I got an idea for a ride. You guys remember like the manhole cover?
Oh my gosh, Jackson,
What if
please.
they put
Are we going to
that
open the
down in-
Deep Lore amusement park?
Yeah, and we're gonna
Is that what you're about
shoot
to
you into
suggest?
space with a manhole cover. That's the goal is to see how fast we can get a human being into low Earth orbit. That's,
So like think
that's-
that, but metal, and then we just like blast it out with a nuke. Like you just shoot up
Yeah.
like a bullet.
In 1992, they open up an attraction called the Gladiator Challenge that I think is actually a seriously cool idea. It just doesn't seem like it was implemented in the best way they could have.
Handled all that well.
It was come up with by two, looks like two bodybuilders came up with the idea, and basically the idea was like, we want to fight people in a ring, basically. That was
Wait, is it
their-
like
yeah.
bare knuckle brawling or
No. It looks like they have pugil sticks, which are like basically
It's like giant Q-tip.
giant
the
Q-tip,
weapon,
basically.
like-
Yeah, fair
That's
enough.
a perfect way to explain it.
So you would fight these gladiators. It would seem that obviously it wasn't just them doing it. They would bring in other employees and stuff. But at some point, one employee, I guess, got mad in a fight and started beating the other guy over the head repeatedly with a pugil stick. And apparently that was annoying for this guy. And so he got mad and then
What?
called
Getting
in a bunch
beat in
of
the
his-
head with a pugil stick?
Yeah,
What?
that really done pissed him off. So he left. He came back with a bunch of his buddies, and they all just mobbed him in the ring and started beating the crap out of him. And naturally, a bunch of other people saw that, and they were like, "Hey, what's going on here?" Then they jumped in, and apparently, I mean, according to Wikipedia, a brawl involving several dozen people broke out. So in this case, I will say that is not in any way on the park. That's just on this jerk that was in the
Yeah,
ring.
that could happen
Yeah.
anywhere. What I'm actually seeing is that because this park was right outside of New York City, it was cheaper than the Six Flags that was nearby. Many people who were poorer in New York City would go here for a day, and most of them did not know, a lot of them did not know how to swim. So a
Oh,
lot of their drowning deaths were really because of that.
I don't know. Water parks usually don't have a 15-foot deep pool with murky water and a black bottom. Like
That's
that.
true too.
That
But
is
again,
not
I don't know. I don't know
normal.
what other
Okay,
amusement parks.
other
look like
amusement
at-
parks did not have the metal ball from hell. Like
That's
that.
true too.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Like that's
well,
just
neither did Action
not-
Park. They got rid of it.
I mean, thank God for that, because holy, I mean, this.
There's a quote from the son of the guy who created Action Park, and he said, Gene didn't want to do the same old bleep where you just get strapped into something or it twirls around. He wanted to take the idea of skiing, which is exhilarating because you control the action, and transfer it to an amusement park. There's risk in that, but that's what made it fun.
Bro, that doesn't make it fun. That's not, no.
Action Park was a rite of passage for any New Jersey men of my generation. When I got to talking about it with other Jerseyans, we share stories as if we're veterans who served in combat together. I suspect many of us may have come closest to death on some of those rides up in Vernon Valley. I consider it a true shame that future generations will never know the terror of proving their grit at New Jersey's most dangerous amusement park. Matthew, this is what we're missing out on.
Yeah.
When we're told no running at the pool.
Real man stuff.
Oh, come on, dude. This is how you get some
Is
some
this
hair on your
seriously?
chest.
Is this really what we do when we don't have a war to fight in? Like, is this really what we do? Like, are we this hell-bent on dying?
Yeah, in a world filled with no, Action Park became the land of yes. They wanted it to be like you control the fun. We're not going to babysit you. We're not your mom. Just come in here and try to have a good time and come out with all of your bones.
Yeah,
And
that's why all of our employees are drunk teenagers that don't know what they're doing. Like, it's just
they
I don't
will
know,
serve
this
you
just-
alcohol.
This just seems like an excuse for some wealthy guy with a lot of land to not do his job.
Although I can't even, I will say, we've been laughing a lot at Action Park, but genuinely, it is horrible that people died here. It's terrible that people took their kids to Action Park and like young, healthy people lost their lives in the wave pool and on the Tarzan swing and in that river where the guy got electrocuted. Like it's not funny.
Quite the place overall, to be honest. I mean, I'm more wondering how did this place come back? That's
Actually,
really what
yeah,
I'm wondering.
I want to read about that. How did it close? And then how did it? Oh wait, 2014 revival.
Yeah, let me see.
Yeah,
it looks okay. So the actual Action Park, as it was, closed in 1996. It looks like it kind of changed ownership a bit. The name got shifted around, and now what's currently there is completely different owners, completely different everything. It's on the same plot of land, but they've completely remodeled everything and totally changed it out. And from what I'm seeing, nobody's died in the last 10 years that they've had this. It seems that things are actually up to code for the most part. Like, oh, look at this, dude. Holy, I'm on the website right now, and they have their attractions actually listed for, like, height requirements. So, like, you can't just, like, go on them willy-nilly, no matter who you... Like, they actually have some stuff in place.
Actually, I don't even know why I'm owing that. I'm like literally 6 foot. Like,
dude,
Jackson is literally 6'3".
Yeah, Jackson's so tall.
Ripped.
Okay, Jackson is the type of guy that you would see in the gladiator arena.
That's not what happened.
Okay, so what I'm looking
Jackson
at,
would say, "I'm gonna go get my friends and we'll settle this," and he'd walk like 5 feet away and then go both biceps, and he'd come back with both of his friends.
Dude, that's it right there. Man, I can appreciate not wanting to follow rules, right? I get it. I totally get it. But, like, I don't know, call me a boomer, but, like, they exist for a reason, man.
I respect it completely ironically. I respect the crap out of Action Park.
You know, I respect the people who survived.
Yeah, the real ones.
Honor those who came home.
Action Park veterans.
In the year 2000, Matthew Callan recalled Action Park by saying, Action Park made adults of a generation of tri-state area kids who strolled through its blood-stained gates by teaching us the truth about life. It is not safe, you will get hurt a lot, and you'll ride all the way home burnt beyond belief.
Okay, that's not wrong. He's
About sums
right.
it up.
Yeah, he's right. That is true about life in general, but that doesn't mean that you need to go out looking for that out of life. Like, I promise you, it'll happen naturally.
You don't need to go to Action Park
You don't
to
need to
make it happen now.
Like, you don't need to go seeking that out. It'll
Don't
happen.
rush it.
Like, I promise it'll happen.
Hey again, it's Jesse. Hope you enjoyed this episode of the Deep Lore Boys podcast. If you did, leave a like, leave a review, subscribe for more episodes, share it with a friend, you know the stuff. Thanks for listening, and I hope your day is nothing short of interesting. Take care.
I'm gonna go post that one on twitter.com.